BioVivacious. I'm Sebastian. BioVivacious is a YouTube channel dedicated to clear fundamentals of biosciences and make the subject exciting. The third precursor molecule for gluconeogenesis is alanine. You know that alanine is an amino acid. Let us see how this is produced. Once more we go back to muscle. So in muscle there is a regular turnover of protein. So therefore this is muscle protein. Now the turnover product of muscle protein are amino acids. One such amino acid is glutamate. Let us write glutamate here. Glutamate. Now at the same time what is going to happen is glycolysis also is happening. So therefore glucose through glycolysis it will produce pyruvate. Pyruvate, you know, it is a keto acid and this is an amino acid. So the transamination reaction is this amino acid will give the amino group to this keto acid and this becomes an amino acid and that amino acid is alanine. Since the space is less, I am not writing the structure, but you are expected to write down the structure. Pyruvate is converted to alanine and glutamate, you remove the amino group from glutamate, it becomes alpha ketoglutaric acid. And the name of the enzyme which will do this transamination reaction is alanine transaminase. Alanine transaminase. So this is a transamination reaction by which alanine is produced. And all this will happen in the muscle. All this reaction is happening in the muscle. Now what happens to alanine? This alanine is transported into blood, so it becomes blood alanine. Blood alanine. This will reach liver and that becomes liver alanine. Okay? And now this is in liver. In liver, the exact reversal of whatever has happened in muscle will occur. So therefore, in liver we have now alanine is an amino acid. We have a keto acid in liver that will be alpha ketoglutaric acid. So now alpha ketoglutaric acid is a keto acid. Alanine is an amino acid. So therefore, alanine gives the amino group to alpha ketoglutaric acid and that will become glutamate. Okay, it becomes glutamate. And alanine becomes either keto acid, that is pyruvate. Okay, so therefore this alanine has become pyruvate. Pyruvate will be converted to glucose and this glucose will be released into blood and through blood it will be transported back into muscle. So therefore we are providing the precursor molecule, that is alanine. From muscle it is again transported to liver and the reaction occurs. What happens to this glutamate? That's interesting. This glutamate, this is catalyzed by another isoenzyme form, that is alanine transaminase enzyme. Okay, and this transaminase is present in the liver and this transaminase is present in muscle. This is another isoenzyme form present in the liver. Once this glutamate is in liver, this will release ammonia by an enzyme, that is glutamate dehydrogenase enzyme. Ammonia is removed and this ammonia becomes part of urea cycle. It becomes part of the urea cycle. So therefore again you see, like Cori cycle, two organs are used. One is muscle, another one is liver. What happens in the process? Several things are happening. Number one, it has transferred the alanine to the location where gluconeogenesis must occur. So it is transferred. So that is done. Second, you know that ammonia, which is harmful, which is produced in muscle, is transported safely to liver. Safely, very safely. It is transported to liver for urea cycle. So This is an inter-organ arrangement for, first of all, for transportation of ammonia, and secondly, for making precursor molecule available for gluconeogenesis. This cycle is very popularly called glucose alanine shuttle. Okay, this is called glucose alanine shuttle. You are expected to draw the structures of each of these molecules. Due to lack of space, I have not drawn it. So we have learned just now how to make the precursor molecules available for gluconeogenesis.